Can you say hi, buddy? Can you say hi? Hey everyone, it's Rob the Backyard Gardener, and it's been too long since I've made some videos for you guys. I apologize first and foremost, it's been hectic, but I've been doing some gardening stuff. I've just over the last few months got my beds ready. I've topped them off with my homemade compost, some leaves, some shredded paper, coffee grounds, you name it. They're ready to take plants. I've actually started quite a few tomatoes from seed, from my stock, and I'm ready to get those planted for you today. I'm also going to be updating you here shortly on my peach trees from seeds, my apple trees from seeds, my orange and lemon trees from seeds series, all those good series, and then give you a little bit of a garden update on what else I'm planting. But in this video, we're going to focus on getting these tomatoes in the ground. I'll explain to you the ones that I'm growing this year, and then we'll make it a quick video just to get back in the swing of things and to have a little fun. Let me show you the tomatoes I have started from seeds. All right, guys, these are a few of the trays I have. I have another tray that I'm also going to get planted today. We've got some good seed starts here. The back row is black from Tula. That's this whole row back here, and we'll get a closer look when I get them planted. We also have some Cherokee Purple. That's the second row. And then, of course, my prized Brandywine heirloom tomatoes. I've got 2 rows of those. I'm probably going to thin them out, but not right now. I'm going to be headed to the Dominican Republic for a week, so I got to get these guys in the ground because these trays will dry up in a few days and they will be dead when I get back. They're still a little early to get out. We're going to have some days right at 40 degrees, so I'm a little nervous about getting them out, but they'll stand a better chance outside than they will indoors for sure. Now, a couple things I want to get across is I've always liked growing the big tomatoes, and I'm going to continue doing that, and these will go in my greenhouse. But these ones over here this year, I always grow those sweet cherries and they taste fantastic. This half of the egg tray is all red sweet cherry tomatoes. And then last year I made a golden tomato sauce, which was ridiculously good. Everyone loved it. And I used some yellow pears that I had grown late in the season. So I pulled seeds out of those, and we've got some yellow pear seeds or tomatoes started here as well. So I'm gonna be growing 2 types of cherry tomatoes this year. I'm super excited about that. I need to thin these out badly. I'll probably thin out a little bit of them as I get them into the ground, but at the end of the day, I need to hedge my bets because I'll be gone and it could get a little cold, and I just want to see which ones have grown and survived over the next week, and when I get back, I'll probably thin them out in another video then. I'm also growing some San Marzanos for some tomato sauces as well, and I'll get those in the video a little bit later on, but for now, let me get these flats in the spots while we're planting them, and we'll get to putting them in the ground. So it's been a beautiful day today. It's been 80 degrees, and this bed right here is where I like to put my red cherry and now my golden pear tomatoes, the yellow tomatoes. They're gonna go in this. I have some garlic that I planted last year in the fall, I think September-ish, and it came up and then it stopped because it was cold, but it's starting to come back again. We'll have to see how those do in a couple more months, maybe get a harvest on them. I'm dedicating this first 4 feet to the golden pear and the next 4 feet to the red cherry. I've got some mint coming up. I'm probably just going to leave it there and let it grow amongst the plants. That's pretty cool. This bed here I used for potatoes last year. I amended it. I'm thinking about using it this time for all of my chili peppers. I did put chili peppers in here as a second crop late last year, so that should still be okay. Again, I amended it. I added some compost, put a little bit of mulch down over the winter, so it should be ready to go. I still have this bed. I had a random blackberry, I think it's a blackberry bush coming up. I'm not quite sure because it came up and it lasted all winter, but I'm gonna leave it there for now. I know they're pretty invasive. I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna try to get some sugar snap peas planted this weekend. I'm not gonna make that in the video. We'll see if they come up while I'm gone. This bed is not quite ready yet. I think with crop rotation, I'm gonna use potatoes in this one, and it's got just a bunch of scraps, and really I'm gonna remove this top layer and then kind of just plant what I want in there and then mulch it back over and then put this in my composter and let it finish composting this summer. Anyway, let me go ahead and get these planted in here. You'll recall that with tomatoes, you can plant them as deep as you want because all these little furry parts of the stem are actually roots, and they will send out more roots from those little furs. So what I plan on doing is just digging a few inches down and then plopping a whole eggshell in here, covering it back up, and having it be about twice as deep as it is now. I've got a lot of work to do. Let me go ahead and get these in, and we'll show what it looks like when I'm all done. All right, guys, I do have the holes already set up, 18 of them. There will be a little bit of an overlap between two of the species, but that's okay. So I was pulling them out, and I thought I should show you guys how I do it. I just take a spoon, just a plastic spoon, get it up under the cell of this egg carton. You can see it's pretty easy to take it out and just put it in the spot where you want it, set it down and cover around. Let's get back to planting. All right, guys, we've got them all planted. The yellow pears right there, and the red sweet tomatoes over here. Again, they're about 2 to 4 weeks younger than I usually like to bring them out, but they should be fine. I've had tomatoes that sprout up as volunteers every year, and they seem to do better than the ones you bring out when they get a little older anyway. So we'll see how they do. I'm very curious to come back here in 6 days and see the growth that these guys have put on. Next thing I do is got to water them in and make sure they have enough moisture, since they've been kind of transplanted, and they'll have a little bit of transplant shock. All right, now let's go back on the other side of the yard, and we'll go ahead and plant those larger tomato varieties in the greenhouse. All right, guys, we've got the larger tomato varieties out here. I apologize in advance for a little bit of the banging and the hammering. We've got people getting their roofs done here. But this is the greenhouse. It's protected by some netting. It's a little bit falling apart here, but we've got it spring and summer ready without the plastic sheet on it. And this is the bed I'm going to use. So we've got a few volunteer plants coming up in here. I got some Swiss chard coming in right there. I've got some of last year's broccoli still growing, and putting some baby tiny broccoli heads on it. I'll probably pull those out, but not right now. We'll let them fight. I'm going to put the black from Tula in the back. I'm going to put most of the Brandywines on this side and over here, and I think I'm going to keep the Cherokee Purples. I'm going to put those somewhere else. I'm not quite sure. I've got a little more tomatoes than I thought for this greenhouse. Last year I had 10 plants in here, and we've got a flat of 16 with one not coming up, so we've got 15 plants. Can't put 15 plants in here. I mean, I could, but we're just asking for a little bit of blight. Anyway, let me go ahead and get these planted, and I'll show you what they look like when I got them all on the ground. I did want to point something out, guys. If you are growing them in these peat pots, I highly recommend that you peel off this netting. To me, it just seems like it restricts a lot of the root growth. Basically, I just pull the netting away and keep the pellet intact, and I plant it without the netting. Just wanted to let you know that that's a good trick. You don't want this to restrict root growth. It doesn't really restrict it completely, but whenever I've pulled these out at the end of the season, it seems like the most of the roots are stuck right here, and I think you get happier, healthier plants when you take this netting off. All right, guys, I've got 4 Brandywines on this side, as well as 4 Brandywine tomatoes on this side. And I did a change in plans. I put the Cherokee Purples back here, since they're pretty much a similar species to my Brandywine. We just wanted to put them in with these. I had a spot for 4 more. So the 2 pellets, I thought there was only 1 pellet that didn't come up. We only have 2 of these black from Tulas, and I got to figure out a spot for them. I was thinking about maybe sticking them in the corners. I'll probably end up doing that, since I've only got a couple of plants, and the birds will get to the larger tomatoes, which is why I put them in this greenhouse, because this netting really prevents them from getting in. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. Decision made. I'm going to put the black from Tulas in the corner. I'll be right back. And there you go, guys. All the tomatoes in the greenhouse are now planted. I know it's not much to look at, but I just wanted to give you an update on what I'm putting back here. Now I got to go inside and get my flat of San Marzanos and get those in the ground next. All right, guys, once again, I apologize for all the noises, but this is the bed that I had my San Marzano tomatoes in last year, and we just cemented it with a whole bunch of compost, so it's ready to rock and roll. Not a lot of growth on the San Marzano tomatoes. They came up a little bit later than the other ones. Again, they're very young, but I need to get them in the ground. So we're going to use this bed once again. Kind of an overkill on the number of tomatoes, but we'll have to hedge our bets and see how many of them come up and survive while I'm gone. Let me get them in the ground, and I will get back to you once they're there. All right, guys, we have the San Marzanos in the ground. I had a couple of extra ones, so I stuck them in the middle. You can see there's one right here in the middle and one right here in the middle. These guys are really young, but tomatoes are so resilient. You could stick them anywhere and they just grow. So as long as they have water and sunlight, they'll do their thing. Hoping they make it since they're a little younger than I like, but my vacation is forcing me to get them in the ground early. Anyway, wanted to give you guys a quick video on my tomatoes, and they're in the ground. Super excited about that. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that quick little tomato video I had. It's been a while since I've shown you a lot of things, and I apologize for my absence. I apologize for the hammering and the nails, but what do you do? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video with me. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.